All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. This afternoon's matchup here on Saturday afternoon volleyball is going to be a great one. I'm Julie Adams. I'm joined by my partner in crime, Debbie Hendricks. Debbie, welcome.
Hi, Julie.
We're back at it after a long break. There hasn't been a home game in almost a month.
When I saw that on the match notes, I was shocked that they haven't been home in that long. But I know it's been a while since we've seen them, and I'm sure they're thrilled to be back home. It's hard being on the road that long.
Yes. Got ahead of us a match today, ladies and gentlemen. The Mocs are taking on the proverbial rival Tampa. University of Tampa Spartans are in the house today, and it's going to be a great match. What do we got ahead of us, Debbie?
There's no question it's a great match. It's the last regular season match for both teams. And I think there's a lot on the line, in particular for Tampa. Right now they're sitting number one in the region. They have the opportunity to host the NCAA regional tournament at their place. I think they cinched that. If there'd be no reason. They beat St. Leo last night. There'd be no reason for them not to host with a win here against Florida Southern. At the same time, the Mocs probably don't have quite as much on the line from a regional standpoint, but there's a pride factor.
Right.
They did not play particularly well at Tampa when we saw them a few weeks ago. You and I both were there.
Yes.
They competed really well in that third set, but I think that was indicative of what they were capable of, but it wasn't what they put out there for the whole night.
Right.
So I think there's probably a little bit on their minds about exacting some revenge for the way they played at their place. And we know this Florida Southern team plays so well at home.
Yes, they do.
They're 12-1 at home.
12-1, right.
And so I think that makes for a really fun match this afternoon.
Well, I tell you what, I know you guys can't see the house here, but we are really full for a Saturday afternoon match traditionally, which is great. All of the student bodies coming out to really get behind the Mocs here against their rivals. It's also senior night, so we'll have some festivities prior to the match beginning here, and I'll do my best to relay some of the information that our in-house announcer will be sharing here with the at-home crowd. Special night for all of those seniors. Got to be an emotional one, taking the floor on the last time for your regular season. So,
well, we talked about it last night. These are seniors who have been to the Elite Eight and played for a national championship. They don't want this to be the last night. It's always nice to honor your seniors, but they would like to be playing for a few more matches for sure. So while they'll enjoy this tonight, I think their minds are set on bigger things and higher heights, if you will.
Absolutely. And we do have, 5 seniors that we're going to be honoring tonight, which is always fun, being able to kind of look back on the careers that have been. And these ladies have some pretty awesome careers to look back on. Still aren't done playing.
Absolutely. We'll probably talk a little bit more about some of these seniors that have hit some milestones just in recent days. So.
And for the Spartans, the seniors, number 1, Marissa Weisner. Number 5, Alexandra Miska. Danielle Christian and Jen Beaumier.
I'm going to tell you right now that the majority of the impact players on the floor for the Spartans are
Not,
underclassmen.
yes, are not seniors.
They're looking forward to success in the future, too.
Our first senior came to Florida Southern after spending 2 seasons at Grossmont College in California. In 2 seasons with the Mocs, she's played in 35 matches and compiled 202 digs. Along with her 292 digs at Grossmont, she has tallied 494 digs in her collegiate career. Last season, she was selected as the SSC Commissioner's Honor Roll member. She is joined today by her parents, Patricia and Craig, and her grandmother, Ann, number 22, McKenna Wilson. This next senior spent 2 years at Palm Beach State before transferring to Florida Southern. She's played in 67 matches for the Mocs and tallied 1,050 digs in an FSC uniform. Combined with her 1,152 digs at Palm Beach State, she's posted 2,202 digs in her collegiate career. She leads the mocks this year in her digs per set and was an SSC Commissioner's Honor Roll selection last year. She's joined by her parents, Danielle and Jeff, number 6, Gabby Fresh. This next senior is a 3-time SSE Commissioner's Honor Roll selection and has appeared in 80 matches for the Mocs over the past 4 seasons. She's tallied 376 kills, 55 service aces, 282 digs, and 82 total blocks. She's joined tonight by her mother and stepfather, Sarah and Todd Gray, her father, Danny Drost, sister Courtney, and brothers Brandon, Kenny, and Cole. Number 7, Whitney Drost.
You're really doing a great job. I don't know how you're doing this while listening to the announcer do it in your...
I know, right? I've got a little interference.
Excellent job.
That way they can feel like they're here too.
Absolutely.
Our 4th senior is among the most decorated players in school history. A 3rd-team All-American and first-team All-Region selection last year, she is a 6-time SSC Setter of the Week honoree. She has appeared in 134 matches and compiled 5,166 assists and 1,348 digs. She ranks 2nd in school history in assists and 7th in digs, and is just the 2nd moccasin to eclipse 5,000 assists. A 3-time SSE Commissioner's Honor Roll selection, she's joined by her parents, Deanna and Dave, and her Aunt Karen and brother Blake. Number 10, Bethany Bazan.
What an amazing career she's had.
That gave me chills.
I remember watching her in club. And Jill and I were recruiting a tournament, and she said, "What do you think of this setter?" And I said, "You better go get that kid."
I'm telling you. All right. This young lady helped the Mocs to their national runner-up appearance. Just the 5th player in school history with 1,500 kills and 1,000 digs. She ranks 4th in program history with 1,623 kills and is 9th with 1,283 digs. She has also tallied 140 total blocks and is a 3-time SSC Commissioner's Honor Roll selection. She's joined by her parents, Nancy and Patrick, her brother Andrew, and her grandparents, Patricia and Ronald Stryber. Number 9, Nicole Matson. What I didn't get to say, I was trying to pace with the in-house announcer. Nicole is the reigning South Region Player of the Year, was a first-team All-American and All-Region selection last season, and just an all-around awesome player.
What a phenomenal career
Yes.
she's had here. Just not enough can be said about Nicole Matson. And, you know, again, I think these seniors have had such an impact on this program, and we can celebrate that tonight. But ultimately, I guarantee you, if you ask them right now, they don't care about celebrating what's happened to this point. They care about what's happening tonight
ahead of them.
and what's ahead.
You're right.
That's what makes them champions.
Look at all the success out there on that floor right now. What an
special
awesome
group.
tribute to this program. And
Well, and this coaching staff, it's not lost on them.
no.
The recruiting they've got to do to fill these big shoes. Well, and I think it was such a nice thing, and you see this often where they also acknowledge the seniors from Tampa. You know, this is a night to celebrate all the seniors.
Absolutely.
Their last regular season match, both of these teams are going on to play potentially several more matches this season and postseason, but it's just nice to recognize these kids.
We'll take a quick break here for the playing of the National Anthem, and we'll be back in just a minute. wasn't expecting that.
No, boy, he killed that.
Did a great job.
Yeah.
All right. Now we meet the teams. Number 1, Marissa Beisner. Number 2, Claudia Rivera. Number 3, Natalie Anderson. Number 4, Sammy Mueller. Number 5, Alexandra Miska. Number 6, Sarah Luma. Number 7, Nyla Demps. Number 8, Melissa Elias. Number 9, Sorrel Houghton. Number 10, Kamari Potter. Number 11, Katie McKeel. Number 12, Nicole Dominguez. Number 15, Danielle Christian. Number 16, Taylor Fossler. Number 17, Jen Beaumier. Number 18, Brooklyn Wilson. Head coach, Chris Katnack. Assistant coaches, Brian Imperial, Jeff Lamb. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the Mocs. Number 2, Emma Shaddix. Number 3, Tiara Porter. Number 5, Haley Williams. Number 6, Gabby Fresh. Number 7, Whitney Drost. Number 8, Courtney Charnecko. Number 9, Nicole Matson. Number 10, Bethany Bazan. Number 11, Bethany Jones. Number 12, Annie Collins. Number 13, Annika Popovich. Number 14, Buse N.A. Number 15, Rachel Martin. And number 22, McKenna Wilson. Head coach for the Mocs, Chris Keene. Assistant coaches, Hiram Kime and Ashley Crowder. All right, so, I know both of these teams have prepared. They've gotten ready for this match. They've seen each other already this season. What do you think is going to be the most important component that we're going to see here in this first set?
Julie, I beat a dead horse when I say this, but it's going to be the serve and pass game, and honestly, you and I were there. We watched the last match between these two teams at Tampa, and Florida Southern struggled in serve receive. Tampa is a very aggressive serving team, but so is Florida Southern.
Yes.
And I think at home, Florida Southern's even more aggressive. So I think a lot of it's going to boil down to they're both high-power offensive teams. It's going to boil down to which team can serve the other team off the floor, or you can flip it and say which team can pass the aggressive serving and run their system offense.
Well, I tell you, I'm excited.
I am too. And, these are both really well-coached teams. Both of these head coaches have come in with a great tactical plan for this match. And they're going to make many, many adjustments throughout the match. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yes.
How are they going to adjust and counter-adjust as they go through the course of the match?
I tell you what, coming from a perspective of a bigger person, a bigger woman, and not being a deceiving threat, finding those athletes that look like they wouldn't be able to do what they can do. I tell you, watching Taylor Fossler that first time, when you see her, you would not think that she would be as agile and as quick.
Yes.
And obviously she's a dominant force, but when you get to see her play.
Yeah. Well, and both of the outsides are big physical outsides as well.
Players,
so
yes.
Florida Southern's got to have a good defensive strategy here.
Oh, we're underway. Outside off the hands of the block for Sorrel Houghton. Sounds like we're going to be saying her name often this evening. Porter finds it. The Mocs answer quickly on that one.
Yeah, and my guess would be that the Mocs want to establish the middle attack early, and that the passing's got to be there to do that. But if they can establish the middle early, it'll open up the outsides.
What an awesome serve.
Sanae's really good with that short serve.
Yes.
She'll mix it up, and I'm sure this is on the coach's call, whether it's a deep or short serve, but she's got as good a short serve as I've seen.
What a tough serve to make, too. And another ace, too, back-to-back for the Mocs, making a statement early here.
And Nicole Dominguez is a good passer. To come in and challenge her right off the bat is aggressive.
Outside. McKenna Wilson got a hand on it. And of course, as we know, with any match, of course, with all the emotion coming into tonight, there's going to take a little bit of kind of shaking out the nerves.
Settling in.
Settling in. Porter again. Tags off the block.
She got Sorrel Houghton up just a little bit too far into the middle of the floor. It's a great swing. You know, when you've got a big block, you have to attack high on the hands.
Right.
It's a great swing by Porter.
From the right side. Point. Here comes Taylor Fossler. Miska now serving. Drost. Net violation for the Spartans.
I think that was on Nyla Demps, number 7.
Yes. Gotta be fresh, back of the line serving. The tip picked up. Bousset tags off the block, successful.
Yeah. Another good high swing off the hands. I mean, you are not gonna blast through the Tampa block, so this is a smart way to attack that big block. I assure you this coaching staff is going to accept a few more service errors tonight, just trying to be aggressive and manhandle this Tampa team. Yeah.
Yes. Well, they're making a statement already. Bazan Sanae outside, Drost swings. Again. You can see Tampa making some adjustments there.
Interesting, I was waiting to see if Tampa would start in a 6-2 or a 5-1. They are starting out in a 5-1 with Sammy Mueller as the primary setter.
Another very talented player on the Tampa roster. The tip.
You know, they've run a 6-2 some of the season, Julie, and Mueller's a really nice setter, and what you give up perhaps with her block size, you maybe gain in consistency, having her out there all 6 rotations, and just in her ability to run that offense. But I wouldn't be surprised if we see the 6-2 before the night's over.
Off the hands, just out of the reach of Nicole Matson. Ball in play here, Bazan Sanae. Quick backside, finds it, Rachel Martin.
You know, I'm impressed right now. Florida Southern's really been attacking deep in the court, and the Tampa defense seems to be kind of sucked up into the middle of the floor. Yeah, so good strategy to just attack with maybe not as much pace, but deep in the court.
Another strong server, Whitney Drost. With a great dig there, too. Tip, picked up. Bazan Sanae backside on the right. Matson drills it. A little too much for Dominguez there off of the hands.
I always love seeing Nicole Matson swing on the right. You know, it's only going to happen a few times in a match just because of, you know, she's a left side attacker, but it's just a different look for that defense.
Yes. And she's just, we've said many times before how talented she is at being able to put the ball wherever she wants it to go.
Yeah.
And that'll be another ace for the Florida Southern Mocs today.
Well, there's no question they're a more aggressive team serving at home.
Yes.
That's going to be a huge factor in this match.
Yes. Well, as we see Coach Katnack calling the first time out of the match. With that, we'll take a quick break, and we'll be right back. Time left here in this first timeout of the match. If you're just now joining us, you better settle in. We're in for a great match, already proving to be what we love to see here. The Mocs taking control within the first few points and just really not looking back yet. So, again, Mocs ahead 10-6, and we are, again, if you're just joining us, playing one of our rivals, University of Tampa. Big match on the line for them today.
For Tampa?
Yes.
Absolutely. You know, as I mentioned at the top of the show, they're looking for the opportunity to host. They're the number 1 seed, and they need to hold that seed, and I think this match is potentially going to impact that. So they need the win here.
The dump is picked up. Fresh is there. Bazan Sanae outside. Matson, she tips. And successful.
I think the Mocs are very wise, Bazan Sanae, using Nicole Matson a lot right now while Sammy Mueller is front row. She's a little bit smaller block. She's got other things on her mind besides blocking, and I think it's good to go after her a little bit on defense.
In comes McKenna Wilson. And Dominguez back to serve. Short serve.
Well, she just missed that,
did.
but that's about as short a serve as you can serve.
Yes.
Both of these teams know that you're going to take some chances in the serving game. That's a great aggressive serve right there. She just missed it.
Rachel Martin. And a quick swing there for Miska. When Tampa gets on all cylinders, they run such a quick offense. I remember thinking the last time when we watched them how fast the tempo was, especially from the middle.
It's just about zero tempo.
Porter just wide.
I like that swing. She's attacking the right back, trying to attack Sammy Mueller.
Right.
And, if she has to dig that ball, Tampa's immediately out of system, and then they can put a double block up on the outside attacker. So I think they keep swinging it right back while she's back row.
Mueller serving. Good hustle from Bazan Sanae. Outside. Roll shot. Picked up. Again from the outside. McKenna Wilson off the rafters. Any attempts, can't quite get there.
Sorrel Houghton hits about as heavy a ball as you're going to see in Division II. Heavy, heavy arm.
Yes. Backside, Matson pushes. Dominguez is there. The push again, picked up by Wilson with a great pass back into the middle. Little misdirection. Free ball like a rocket. And the dump just out.
Florida Southern looks just a little bit frantic there. I don't think that's going to last, but I think that wasn't a bad idea by Bazan Sanae, but it looked a little rushed, if you will. We need to settle down. They're in the lead.
Again, Porter going for that deep corner, looking for a touch.
Got it.
One called, so it. Florida Southern looking to rebuild on this lead here. Bazan Sanae back at the line.
A little confusion in the Tampa serve receive. Take advantage of that.
Houghton. A big stuff there would have been if the ball would have fallen in. Houghton again serving. Deep serve, Bazan Sanae goes up, they go to Porter. She finds it.
Porter with her 4th kill, making her presence known early, and I anticipated that. I really thought they would try to use the middles early.
Backside. Just a little too quick on the cut there from Nyla Demps. Matson serving. Deep serve. That one does go out. And that'll bring Fossler back into the front row for the Spartans.
That's a third service error for Florida Southern early in this match. And there's this trade-off. We always talk about it, the trade-off between being aggressive and kind of beating yourself with too many errors. So I know they got to try to find that happy medium tonight.
Backside. Sanae swings off the block. Quick to Fossler. Bazan is there. Matson. The tape is on her side on senior night.
I have no idea how Bazan got that touch.
I don't either.
Just talk about reflexes. That was a huge swing by Fossler.
Ball still in play off the block. Double contact called, point for the Mocs. And another timeout from Coach Katnack here. Florida Southern leading 17-13 as we go into the timeout. We'll be right back.
This is the University of Tampa. Explore your dreams. Discover your talents. Get ready to invent, innovate, and be a leader. This is the University of Tampa.
All right, so we are closing out a timeout here, the second timeout of two for Coach Katnack in this first set of action. Mocs have really been strong the entire set so far.
They absolutely have, Julie. And you know, they came out early. Tampa responded and closed things back score-wise, and then Florida Southern just pushed to create another 4-point gap. Both of these teams are on fire offensively. With Florida Southern, they're hitting 529. Tampa hitting 368. I mean, these are offensive numbers that don't lose, you know. So both teams will settle in a little bit and make more defensive adjustments, but big offensive match right now.
And we'll start back up with Gabby Fresh serving. And that one does go out. Here the Mocs closing in on 20. Fresh with a tough serve there. Fossler. Matson is there from the pipe. Matson swings, catches the tape. The tip. Bazan is there. Roll shot. Pancake is successful. Ball over. Big swing this time. Successful.
Sanae has the ability to take big swings.
Yes.
You know, she can mix her shots up, but, you know, she's been a nice add, you know, moving her. She was mostly ball control, back row play early in the season. She's come in for Annika on the right side, and she's making the plays that they need her to make in the match.
Off the block and down. Melissa Elias now back to serve for the Spartans. Bazan outside to Drost.
Well, again, I think they're going to probably set Drost quite a bit here, looking to try to, you know, to take her height advantage against Sammy Mueller. She'll have to execute to take a full advantage of that.
Again, Fossler is there to help, but that block does go out. She definitely was reaching over Mueller on the block.
For sure. And you know what? I was a short setter. It's just a fact. You know, Sammy Mueller does so many good things for her team, but she's a little bit of a block liability, and Florida Southern's smart to go after her.
Fossler, there it is.
Well, you talked about her agility and movement earlier. It's very impressive. I mean, she's a big physical athlete.
She is.
But she's mobile.
The dump works this time. And just like that, we're into the 20s here.
Well, and Florida Southern needs this out of Bazan Sanae. They don't need a lot of points out of her, but just to keep the defense honest, she needs to score a few balls offensively on that second ball.
Bullet serve from Drost there.
Tampa's out of timeouts, so the Mocs need to just really keep the errors down right now and run this thing out.
They go right back at McKeel. Double contact.
Yeah, that's a pretty tight call. So, as we often talk about, early on you determine, and Chris Katnack's not happy with it. You determine how your officials are going to call, and as long as they're consistent for the rest of the match, you can usually accept it.
Roll shot. Matson is there. Fossler tips. Matson from the outside. Ball still in play. From the pipe. Big swing. Matson into the block. What an effort. Florida Southern now at set point here after that extremely athletic volley.
I was just about to say Whitney Drost is an all or nothing server. That ball could have just as easily been an ace.
Yep.
She just goes all out, and I know, as a coach, I would set point, I'd kind of like to see her just put that ball in play and let your defense work, but she's going to be aggressive in that situation.
Sanae with a great pass out to Matson. She tips with her left hand this time. And the tip from Houghton successful.
Well, that's Houghton's fourth kill, as expected, leading her team in kills right now.
Great serve right between two Florida Southern players. Outside Houghton tips.
May see a timeout right now, yeah.
Good call.
Yeah, he's very proactive, and I think he looks at this and he's like, we're in control of this set. Let's talk about it and make sure we get the next point.
All right, with that, we'll be right back. All right, we're back again here, sitting at set point for Florida Southern, leading the University of Tampa in this first set, 24-19, after what has been a little peek into what I'm sure we're set for the rest of the match, which has just been a fight. I mean, the score doesn't reflect how close it has been.
No, and oh my gosh, Julie, what an offensive match. You got Florida Southern hitting 462, Tampa hitting 345. I mean, these are numbers that coaches dream about as far as your offensive execution. So I think what we'll see is these numbers will come down a little bit as we move through the match because defensive adjustments will be made by both teams. And yet it's kind of fun to watch right now. They're both executing at such a high level.
Nicole Dominguez for the University of Tampa. Rachel Martin ends it. And in her words, Wow.
Wow, yeah. I mean, I kind of expected this, to be honest with you. You know, Tampa historically, such a good team. You know, a perennial power in Division II for many, many years. And yet, you know, the last couple of years they've been, I don't know, rebuilding, if you were. They're still really good when they're rebuilding, but they're not unbeatable, and they have been beaten a couple times this year. And Florida Southern's so good at home, you know, and you can just feel that they've been getting better and better as they've gone through the season. And I think that they're just chomping at the bit to come in against a team like Tampa and show what they're capable of, and that's how they've started.
Right. Well, it's very apparent that they are looking to hold down the floor at home, you know, to definitely show it the home presence here and just do their best in front of this home crowd and against a rival that is Tampa. So definitely in for a great second set. All right, and with that, we're going to take a little break here between sets 1 and 2. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Check out this freak. Birth name Hannah. Not a dresses her dog in human baby clothes kind of freak. Nah, Hannah has a cat. Hannah's a freak about fresh baked every 4 hours bread. Look at her, utilizing a bread color perfect gauge thingy. So it's just right. Yep, Hannah's a freak. The kind of freak that makes the world a better place to eat. Freaky fresh, freaky fast, Jimmy John's, freak yeah.
From court to court and lane to lane, under the lights or under the sun, no one delivers Division II sports like NCAA.com. The center of D2 is inside the NCAA.com hub, with exclusive highlights of every sport and live broadcasts of every Division II championship found nowhere else. Make NCAA.com yours, the home of Division II.
All right, we are back after a really exciting first set here. We knew it would be, obviously, always. When these two teams face each other, you're in for a great opportunity. But, I mean, take a look at those stats.
Well, I mean, Julie, in most matches, 345 is going to rout a team, absolutely rout a team. But Tampa had no answer for Florida Southern's 481 hitting percentage. Neither team has a block so far.
Right.
You know, so this has been all offense. I promise you, both teams are going to start making some defensive adjustments. You come in sometimes more offensively minded in what you need to accomplish. But they'll both make some adjustments here. These numbers are just huge. The other thing that kind of stands out to me is Florida Southern, 4 aces, 4 errors. I guarantee you the coaching staff will take those 4 errors, not just because of the 4 aces, but for how many times they were able to get the Tampa serve receive out of system.
Out of system, okay.
And so, you know, right now I think that's probably an okay number for them. But I'm a little astounded that neither team, they're both good blocking teams. Neither team has a block. It just says a lot about, you know, they're in system enough to be running system offense. And, you know, this is a big offensive night. But I think these numbers will come down. You watch.
As we get ready here for set number 2, Tampa serving. And they go right back to Rachel Martin, who ended the first set on a kill, and she starts off the second set the same way.
Yeah, early on, you know, they were going a little bit, using Porter a little bit more. She has 4 kills right now, tied for first on the team. And I anticipated they would start getting Rachel Martin just a little bit more involved. Good start.
Outside the push down the line.
No, I hate to see it, but officials have that whistle half blown when the middle blocker goes to set the ball.
Yes.
It's not fair, but it's true.
Yes. Madsen drills it. Point for the Mops. Bazan Sanae with short serve. Roll shot. Backside in a. Again, you know, it's really fun to see the transition like you talked about earlier from back row, awesome ball control, and then now really putting some zing on that ball.
Sure, and I'm probably more traditionally an outside attacker, but she can do both, and right now they need her to play right side, and she's doing a great job for them. You know, we've talked about this all season long, but the need for balance by this Florida Southern team in their offense, and Bazan Sanae running a balanced offense tonight, they're really balanced, and I think that's key to their success here.
Matson from the right side. And that does go outside of the antenna on that final attempt.
Well, you don't see this too often, but Tampa seems to be just a little bit out of rhythm, almost discombobulated, which some of that is the aggressiveness, I think, with the Florida Southern serving and the system offense that they're running. And but, you know, that's the only way you beat Tampa. To be honest, if they are able to be in their system versus your system, you probably have a problem.
Right.
When you're able to get them a little out of sync, you've got a chance against Tampa. They're a really physical, exceptionally offensive team. And they're discussing where that second ball came off the screen here, and they're saying that it was out of play. Judgment call here, I guess. Regardless, ball to Florida Southern.
Yeah.
And point.
And point. Free ball here. Porter tips. Again, Porter off the hands, just out of reach of Dominguez. Point for the Mocs.
And again, on that ball, Tampa struggled with that first ball contact. They're out of system a lot right now. And if you're going to be out of system and you're giving free balls and down balls and out of system swings to Florida Southern, they're going to chew you up with their offense.
Houghton now. Back row attack there.
Yeah, Bazan Sanae made a great effort to try to keep that in play, and she's as good as anyone I've seen making a one-hand play, but it went back over the plane, so it's a back row attack.
Porter. That'll work.
I do think Florida Southern's winning the tape shots tonight so far.
The tape is on their side. Yes. Big swing, big dig. Matson answers that call. I think I heard her say, oh yeah, well look at this.
Yeah, you did.
Short serve from Fresh. And a roll shot. Off speed is working.
You know, Tampa should have probably expected that. That's from that far off the court, a right-handed player on the right side of the floor. She's not going to be able to take a big swing, and they look flat-footed on that. It's a good shot by Sanae.
And she transitions to a deeper, more aggressive serve there, keeping Tampa on their toes. Martin. Net violation on the Spartans.
Boy, I just can't believe how much Tampa's out of system. It's good serving by Florida Southern, but Florida Southern's getting a lot of free balls and down balls and executing.
Yes.
That's the game plan right there.
Yes. And with that, a timeout from Coach Katnack. We'll be right back.
Observe this total unabashed freak. Mark. Not the kind of freak who wears a suit of armor to a Renaissance fair. Nay, not Mark. Mark is a Jimmy John's kickin' ranch freak. Look at him, pureeing hot cherry peppers into fresh buttermilk with the fervor of a kid at the gates of an amusement park. Yes, Mark's a glorious kickin' ranch freak, and we totally love him for it. Let the dippin's beginnings. Freaky fresh, freaky fast, Jimmy John's.
All right. Again, you were talking numbers at the beginning of the set. Look at the numbers now. Florida Southern.
727 hitting percentage in this set. And this happened last night, too. At the beginning of the, I believe, the third set, they were up like 9-1 or 9-2 on Rollins and were over 700 hitting. So high level of execution. Now, a lot of this is due to the number, like I said, the number of down balls and free balls that Tampa is giving the Mocs. But, you know, Mocs are creating a lot of that through their aggressive serving. So the people who right now are frustrated with their missed serves, they need to recognize how many times Florida Southern's getting down balls and free balls as a result of that aggressive serving.
Right.
And here's one of the more, I just think Gabby Fresh has a great little serve.
She does.
The bottom tends to drop out on this ball.
Matson from the back row. Outside, tip. Bazan Sanae is there this time. Drost finds it.
So far, the deep shots, and especially the deep shots in the corners, are wide open on this Tampa team. They're up a little bit shallow on defense.
Backside. That'll work for Nyla Demps. Backside, NA.
Okay, you know, early in the first set, I told you how I thought the Mocs were doing a great job of attacking high on the block.
Right.
That's what happens when you let the ball drop too low and you try to blast through the block. You're not going to blast through this Tampa block. You've got to continue to swing high, swing early, swing high, try to get the ball high off the hands.
Well, and that was the first block of the match.
And that's pretty incredible, to be honest with you. These are both good blocking teams. So it's a little bit of a testament to the offenses that they're both running, especially for Florida Southern, how much they've been in system.
Bazan Sanae. Martin finding that sweet spot.
You know, I don't think Tampa is I don't think they're serving fluff, as we call it. You know, I think they're serving pretty aggressive. I think that Florida Southern's just doing a great job of getting behind the ball and good three-option passes.
Demps tips.
And that's the shot that will score, is that little tip to the sideline on either side. So for either pin, either for the right sides or the left sides, that's a really smart shot for Tampa against this defense. Not over the middle blocker.
Backside, Martin. Net violation.
That's costly. That's costly because
in so many ways, because that was momentum too.
Yeah.
McKeel with a roll shot there. Ball still in play. Outside, Matson off the block. McKeel. Josh just can't quite get there with her platform.
You know, we've talked about Sorrel Houghton, and I'm just as impressed with Katie McKeel, and I think the second half of the season she's been huge. She's actually a Colorado athlete, and I want to call her a kid because they're all kids to me.
Yeah.
But she's from Manitou Springs, I believe, and what an exceptional athlete. Both of their outsides are just so hard to stop. They're so physical.
The tip right on the hands there for Melissa Elias. I think it kind of caught her off guard.
Yeah. It just feels like Florida Southern had a game plan of where they were going to attack the defense of Tampa, how they were going to be aggressive serving, and they've come in and they have executed that game plan. And again, That's a missed serve, but she missed it long. It was an aggressive serve.
Right.
You're giving the ball a chance. You know, you're not seeing a lot of serves in the net. I have to think the coaching staff is okay with this because it's created a lot of mess on the Tampa side being aggressive at the service line.
Ridiculously short serve there.
Yeah.
And big stuff. Bazan looks like she might have got a hand on
I'm
it.
going to guess she had at least one, if not two hands involved on that because she was fired up.
Oh, that's so fun.
Yeah.
And back-to-back short serves there. Quick set for Miska.
That short serve right there, I believe, was intended to disrupt the serve-receive pattern. It failed to do that, but good serve again by Bazan.
Porter tags off the block for another kill. That'll be her 7th of the evening. Matson now. And there's that heavy hand from Sorrel Houghton.
So heavy. I would not want to be on the other side of that.
No. Count me out. NA.
I just want to see NA take that ball a little bit earlier and swing high off the hands. I think she'll score.
That one does go long. That'll bring Rachel Martin back to the front row. Short serve for Gabby Fresh. Sanae outside Drost. Fresh answers with a dig. They go to NA. She swings. The tip coming. And a big swing from the pipe. Ball still in play. Good hustle by the Spartans. And that does end the play there. Tampa here pulling within 2. McKeel with a big swing, Bazan. And now to NA, she swings.
That was a great ball by Gabby Fresh. We had the perfect angle to see, you know, when you have to bump set as the libero, that is just not as easy as taking your hands and setting the ball. And she just put up an absolutely perfect ball there.
And it's not easy. It's just not easy to place the height, to place the location, and she does a great job. Drost. Off the hands, the hustle is unsuccessful. Another point for the Mocs.
Tampa's got to find an answer for this Mocs offense, and they're just not getting them out of system nearly enough. And a lot of it comes from receiving these off-speed balls here.
Drost blocked. Fresh gets the ball up. Matson pushes again off the tape. Very tight here. Point for the Mocs. And another timeout from Coach. And just like that, we're back. Again, this timeout called by Coach Katnack. His second of the second set. So after this, he has no more ability to stop the game. So we'll see what the Mocs do with it. Only needing 6 points here, creeping up on 20. Definitely Mocs in control.
They are, and I got to tell you, last night, you know, it's a tough match. Rollins came in here at 4-24, I think, and Florida Southern looked pretty good. And but there were times where they were miscuing a little bit, and their service receive wasn't nearly as solid as it was tonight. I thought they're going to have to lift their game up a big notch against Tampa, and they've absolutely done that on every level here.
Sanae now serving. McKeel, Sanae is there. Bazan, Sanae out to Drost. Net violation. I'm telling you, I think that's the third or fourth on Demps.
Well, this is what happens when a team is beating you. You start trying to do a little too much.
Right.
You know, it's very typical. Hitters hit out and blockers get in the net because you're pressing too hard. You're not staying within yourself, and that's pretty normal.
She answers, though. Gets herself a kill on that one.
Great high swing by her.
The Mocs have reached 20 first here in this second set. Deep serve. Great pass.
Julie, I just can't say enough about the quality of the first ball on the Moc side. I mean, regardless of how tough Tampa serves, they are really in one and or three and minimum of two options almost every play.
Well, and you know what I love about it is that when you look out on the floor, yes, they're winning, but they look like they're having fun. And that is just, you know, sometimes we lose sight of that in college athletics, and just from this perspective, it's fun to see that too.
Yeah, I think this is a team that from the beginning of the year, they've definitely had some struggles. I mean, there's a big target on your back when you have played for a national championship the year before, and early on, they definitely had some struggle, and they've had a few lineup changes, and I just think it's been a harder year. Last year, they just kind of flowed through the season and got better each week. And this year, they've just been a little more struggle.
Yes.
But struggle sometimes is really good for a team. And they are now positioned to be in the playoffs. And sometimes all that struggle comes together at the right time late in the year. And they look like a team that's on a mission right now.
Well, and with serves like that, that's helping out the cause for Florida Southern.
You bet. Every little bit helps.
We get to see Annie Collins on the floor.
Yeah, we saw her last night a little bit, setting.
Awesome.
And now she's in to help on the serving side of the ball.
The tip goes out. Sanae was on that one.
I mean, as good as Florida Southern's been, there's no question Tampa's given them more than their usual number of errors, I believe.
Yes.
A little frazzled, I think.
Backside to Fossler. She takes that one into the net. Southern now at set point here in this second set. Tampa out of timeout, so it will be game on. Annie Collins. Again, they go to Fossler.
There's really no answer for that.
No.
You know, you move on to the next ball, and you expect Tampa, their best players, to get their kills.
Porter. Ball in play again. Into the block.
It's only Porter's second error of the night. She's got 7 kills and 2 errors. Good hitting efficiency for the middle.
And now that will pull a timeout from Coach Keene for the Mocs. And with that, we'll take a quick break and be right back for the end of set 2.
This is Matt. Look at him, the little freak. Not a calls his mother mommy even though he's a full-grown adult kind of freak. Nah, Matt says mom. Matt's a super fresh lettuce freak, slicing it daily to 3/32 of an inch, the tastiest width for lettuce. Good for you, Matt, you dang lettuce freak. Keep high-quality sandwiching yourself into our hearts. Freaky fresh, freaky fast, Jimmy John's, freaky ass.
All right, so at this point, Florida Southern set. They just have to take a stance here, get a good serve receive. First ball, I mean, you've been saying it all night. Get back to that.
Yeah, I think that timeout right there was basically, listen, we're in control of this thing. Let's get our next serve receive play in and first ball side out.
Right.
You don't want to, I mean, it would take an exceptional effort on Tampa's part to win this set, but you don't want them to gain momentum and confidence before you enter into the third set. So Florida Southern needs to shut it down right here.
Madsen looking for the deep back row. Houghton tips. And they save it. Again, Houghton off the block. Madsen tips. Houghton gets it up. The block goes wide.
There's one thing I'm seeing over the last 2 or 3 serve receive passes from Florida Southern. They're back on their heels. They're almost falling away as they pass rather than meeting the ball. They started early being very aggressive and meeting the ball. You don't wait for the ball to come to you. You step up and pass aggressively.
Off the hands. Ball still in play. Houghton free balls. Sanae is there to Porter. The hustle. Tampa is making a statement with their fight right now.
Absolutely, and they haven't forgotten what they're playing for. I mean, most likely they're playing for the chance to, it's a big rivalry, so they most importantly want to beat Florida Southern, but they're also playing for the opportunity to host the regional.
Right.
So, these kids aren't going to quit. This coaching staff's going to keep making adjustments, but right now I think it's just about Florida Southern settling down a little bit in serve receive.
And with that, we'll take a quick break, and we'll be right back for the end of set 2.
Coke Zero is now Coke Zero Sugar, with great Coke taste. Some people were excited to hear the news, some were skeptical. So we're not going to have the star of the show you're watching come out and say, "You'll love it." No special jingle written by this week's hottest pop star. No famous internet celebs who happen to be holding the label just so. Okay, maybe just one little pour shot. The only thing that will make you believe Coke Zero Sugar has great Coke taste is trying it yourself. Ice cold Coke Zero Sugar. Try one today.
All right, and we are back here. The George Jenkins Fieldhouse. We've got a barn burner going on right now. Florida Southern taking a commanding lead here at the beginning of the set. Tampa fighting their way back. And now they were down, 24-20, I think, or 24-19, and Tampa's battling back. Florida Southern, again, just needing to kind of settle in, stay calm, and let's get a great pass. I think this is the loudest I've ever heard this gym.
A lot of energy in here right now. Pulling for the Mocs.
And that goes wide. The Mocs take it.
I have to tell you, for a coach, that's just jaw-dropping. It's why Florida Southern called a timeout, was to stop the momentum and ice the server, and you just don't want to give them that, That's most unfortunate for this Spartans team that was really fighting to get back in the set, and then ultimately, if they were to split, be back in the match. But right now, a two-game lead, 2-set lead by the Moccasins at home, that's a big hill for the Spartans to climb. Even though they are a very good team and they're capable of it, they're definitely in a corner right now.
All right, so with that, we are 2 sets in, looking to finish strong here. But before we do that, we're going to take a quick break.
At Jimmy John's, we're freaks about best-in-class ingredients, so it's no wonder we announced our new 9-grain wheat sub in the middle of a wheat field. When you've got news this big, it's not enough to just add it to the menu. Where's the freak yeah in that? To celebrate a new sandwich with a taste so inspired, we introduced it in the place that inspired it. The new Jimmy John's 9-grain wheat sub, now available at a Jimmy John's, much, much, much closer to you. Wheat yeah?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back with an extremely excited Mox crew here in the house. We got a little Sweet Caroline going, pumping up the crowd. I'm pumped. This is fun.
This is a great match. You know, just that little run Tampa had at the end there indicates what's possible in this match. Now, whether they respond down 2-0 or not, we'll see. But so far, you just look at the stats right now. It's a very dominant effort by Florida Southern. I was even looking at the errors. I broke down the errors by both teams. It's just 19 errors for Tampa to 18 errors for Florida Southern. So it's really less about what they aren't doing. I mean, some of Tampa's errors have been really hard to swallow because they've been blocking errors in situations they would have won the point. Florida Southern's been a little higher error at the service line, but they've gained a lot from how aggressively they've served. But there's no question, looking at the offensive numbers, Florida Southern's execution's been higher, and it's ultimately been because of, for the most part, the quality of their serve receive, that first ball passing and digging. They broke down a little bit at the end of that last set, so they got to get that part back together if they're going to win this match in 3.
Annie Collins will start us off here. The Mocs again looking to start strong as they have the last 2 sets. Annie Collins with the serve. Houghton up and over. Matson pushes. NA is there. Looks like it must have hit the rafters.
It's such a hard-driven ball. You have to really absorb it to keep it from going as high as the ceiling.
Right.
She did a great job in the right spot on that ball. She just couldn't handle it.
That'll bring Bazan back to the line to serve. Let's see if she comes with a short ball like she has in the past. Interrupts the setter's travel there. Pancake successful for Bazan. That, though, what do you do to stop that?
Well, you have to be up with the attacker. It's a 0 tempo. She took that ball literally almost out of the setter's hands. So yes. you have to, the blocker's got to jump with the hitter.
Houghton serving. Great play by Fresh to get that ball. Backside Demps. Bazan is there. Porter puts it up to nobody.
Yeah.
Tough ball.
You know, that's the value of the 0 tempo. If Tampa can pass well enough to run that 0 tempo with their middles, then the Florida Southern middles have to commit.
Right.
And then if the setter chooses to set not the middle but to one of the outside attackers, then they're one-on-one. So, but Tampa's unable most of the night to run that just because they've been out of system so much.
And obviously Tampa coming back on fire, not laying down for this 3rd set.
Well, you kind of saw this coming at the end of the 2nd set, and they've definitely carried their momentum into this 3rd set.
Backside Matson off the block.
There again, you could just see how shallow the Tampa defense is. There, you know, anything hit deep in the court, anything hit high off the blocker's hands is going to score.
That one does go long. Miska now serving. Outside Dross tips. That one does fall right in the middle of the floor.
Early on, I feel like Florida Southern was very good picking up the off-speed balls, but Tampa's become a little bit better about the placement of these balls, and it's really in between several people who could pick the ball up, and they're not knowing whose responsibility that ball is.
Good hustle by Miska there. Ball still in play. And he swings hard into the block.
Yeah, that one hurts because you had a free ball opportunity and a one-on-one there and didn't get the ball put away. Tampa's got the momentum without question right now.
Absolutely. We've seen a specific and definite shift.
And it started at the end of the second, and
Yes.
a lot of it was the breakdown and serve receive on the Mock side.
I'll say it and I'll say it again. I would just love to be able to be inside those timeouts to hear what the delivery and choice of information is.
Well, I feel like with Tampa, there have been some specific decisions about where they want to attack the Florida Southern defense. Early in the match, they couldn't really execute the game plan because they weren't passing well enough to do so. Now they're getting a little bit better quality first ball, and so, you know, a lot of times when you're going to attack and you know you've got the defense back on their heels, it's the best time to tip, and that's what it's looked like for a couple of these plays is Tampa has the defense back on their heels. A smart tip in between several players is dropping. Florida Southern's got to figure out who's going to take those balls. And Florida Southern's got to settle down and get back into a little more of a rhythm again in their serve receive. Well, that's a tough serve. But again, I feel like the Florida Southern needs to attack the serve. You know, I feel like they're sitting back waiting for the ball to come to them. Yeah, it gives that ball, a floater serve especially, one more move before it gets to you, and they just need to be a little bit more aggressive-minded.
Even the tape momentum has shifted.
Yeah. Early on, boy, every tape shot went Florida Southern's way, didn't it?
Backside, NA. Off the hands. Bringing the ball back to the Florida Southern side. Let's see what we can do here.
I can't say enough about it. Just continue to swing high off the hands like that. Got that shallow Tampa defense. It's going to score.
Four hits there.
This is right there. That's the epitome of what got Florida Southern this 2-0 lead. Tough serving, a little breakdown in serve received by Tampa, and then, you know, they're trying to do too much. Florida Southern's got to keep this Tampa team out of system.
Rachel Martin. Nobody's home back there.
It's a gutsy little response. You know, I mean, Tampa had all the momentum starting this set, and you feel Florida Southern fighting.
And Fresh switches it up. Dimps. Big swing by Dimps, big dig by Matson, and then Fossler catches an open court.
Well, you know, I mentioned it earlier. Some of these Tampa attackers hit such a heavy ball that as a defender, you have to take some off. And you're not used to having to take so much off a ball when you dig it, but tonight they have to with these heavy arms. So as Bazan played that ball, they're saying it crossed into the plane so the blockers can touch it, and then it becomes a back row attack. You know, that's always the call that's confusing between whether the blocker reached over the net and interfered with the set, or
right.
But once the ball's in the plane, the blockers can touch it.
Drost off the hands. Fossler pushes. Ball still in play.
There's definitely scrappiness on both sides of the floor. I mean, they're
Yes.
fighting. Both of these teams are really fighting. It just feels like Tampa's in system. And, you know, I feel like Florida Southern swarmed Tampa the first 2 sets, and now it kind of feels like when there is any semblance of swarm out here, it's coming from the Tampa side of the floor.
Backside in a roll shot. Matson swings. The block picked up. Pushed over. And the block for Tampa. And the dump, successful.
Tampa has switched setters here, and I believe they may be running their 6-2. We'll have to see in a minute, but I do believe that right now one of the things that Florida Southern can do is they can capitalize on taking Elias out by hitting into the right back side of the floor. They need to attack her. And Basansane's dump into the middle of the floor, if the setter there, Elias, has any responsibility on that, I think that she could even dump a little bit favoring Elias there and right back.
Gotcha.
Because she's releasing to get to the net to set. Just like that.
And again.
I mean, that's typical. Setters aren't going to be, somebody else is going to have to pick up that ball. They need to be communicating about that because setters are looking to set, not pick up dumps.
Right. Sanae outside to Matson. Statement swing. You know, Nicole usually remains extremely stoic, pretty calm, pretty even-keeled, and it is just so fun to watch her when she gets a swing like that.
Yeah, it doesn't happen often that she brings emotion, which is great. You know, you've got some emotional players out there, and she's that calming force. But, yeah, when you see her get excited, you know it's a big deal. Okay, now some of these service errors, I'm going to be honest, are not aggressive service errors. You know, when they were serving deep and they were missing by a foot and they were wreaking havoc in the serve receive, that was different. Right now, these service errors are very costly, I feel like, for Florida Southern.
Especially after such the momentum gain from that swing from Matson.
So, yeah, Tampa is definitely running a 6-2 here, which, as we've discussed before, the big advantage of a 5-1 is you've got the same setter all the time, so consistency, but you give something up when your setter's front row and blocking if she's a smaller setter. When you get into that 6-2 now, for Florida Southern, they're looking at 3 attackers they have to block all match long or all set long, and so I'm sure Tampa's gone to this to try to just challenge the Florida Southern defense a little bit more.
And Houghton with a cross-court push there. Matson from the right side. Demps is there. Swing into the block, and it does go wide. Mox with a timeout here. With that, we'll be right back. All right, through this third set, we have definitely seen Tampa take control and not look back. Florida Southern missing some opportunities, really just getting some momentum and then just immediately losing it. I think just kind of wearing down on each other.
Yeah, that's a great point, Julie, because I feel like they've won some really hard-fought rallies or, points where they just really made a statement swing, and then they go back and they serve in the net. Those are, when you're behind, that's really demoralizing, if you will, and so they got to clean that up. I mean, being aggressive serving is great, but they're working hard. They're having to work very hard right now for the points.
Right.
Tampa's definitely lifted their game to another level. So you want to do as the minimum that you can to beat yourself at this point. You got to play to win here.
Porter off the hands. Bazan is there, fresh. Sets up Matson. She rolls shots to Houghton. Free ball here. Let's see what Tampa. Demps off the block. Great up by Bazan. The push, ball still in play. The quick offense here from Tampa, they pick it up into the block. Sanae off the hands, and that'll do it. Holy rally.
Well, yeah, there's no question Florida Southern scrapping, but they don't look nearly as systematic as they did for the first two sets, and I know that's what they need to be getting back to, and it's kind of like you're always just trying to get the ball back rather than controlling the match.
Backside, Demp swings. Bazan. Fresh puts it a little deeper on the free ball. And point for the Mocs. Tip, Bazan. Porter, free balls. And McKeel finishes that one off. The Mocs definitely looking a little deflated here.
Yeah. And I don't think it really has that much to do with the switch by Tampa to the 6-2 offense. It's more about, I think they picked up their serving a little bit, and Florida Southern's just not passing particularly well and seem to be on their heels playing catch-up all the time.
Matson from the pipe. Demp swings. And Bazan caught the tip of it as it was going out, so that will be a Tampa ball. Drost with a serve receive. The dump is picked up. And McKeel short there.
Okay, so Tampa made the adjustment of moving that left back player in to pick up that dump because their setters right now are always going to be back row. You don't want them to even think about the dump. So that was a good adjustment by Tampa. And Bazan is going to have to look for another spot. Not that she shouldn't continue to try to send some of those second balls over. She's just got to find a new spot.
And Fossler sends it long. Fresh with a serve. Like you said earlier, the bottom just dropped out of that one. Bazan to Martin. Ball still in play. Fossler over the top.
Well, the tables have definitely turned. Florida Southern's hitting below 100, 074 in this set. Tampa hitting 242. So it's really been about whichever team's got that first ball contact, the best first ball contact, and running their offense. And it's been a battle for Florida Southern
yes,
this
has.
set. And really, even late in the second set, you could feel the quality of that first ball and the rhythm of their offense began to break down.
Sanae with the serve. Dross from the middle this time. Different look.
And I love that swing. I love that swing because she hit that cutback shot, we call it, and she swung towards the setter and right back. I really think this is going to be critical for Florida Southern. If Tampa's going to remain in the 6-2 offense, they're always going to have a back row setter.
Right.
The best way to get them out of system is to attack that right back. So if you don't have a swing for kill, you absolutely should be tipping or putting an off-speed ball onto that setter back there, hitting the cutback shot toward the right side of the floor. It's going to take a little bit of the rhythm away that Tampa's had this entire set.
Right.
And I would guess that because things are going well, the Spartans will remain in this 6-2 offense until something changes. You know, and again, I don't think that's had that much to do with the success they've had. I really think it's just been more of a switch from which team is serving and passing better. But Florida Southern can continue to attack the right back, and it will make a difference in the offense for Tampa.
Even coming out of the huddle, you can see the difference in the Florida Southern squad. Looking to put a stop here.
Well, you know, they're in a similar situation. You may not win this set, but if you can get the momentum coming back your direction,
right,
that bodes well moving into set number 4. I mean, you're not going to feel bad about going 4 sets with Tampa. You just want to make sure that you get back to the level you were playing at just minutes ago.
Roll shot picked up by Drost. Rachel Martin. Statement swing.
Well, and you know what? You go back to at the beginning of the match, Florida Southern started out using the middle attack, establishing that early, and the ball control had to be there to do that. If they can be passing and digging well enough to use the middles again, it'll be a big factor here.
Block on McKeel. And she finds the line on that shot. Tampa serving now. Backside draws from the right. Houghton swings. Sanae with a great pass. The tip, picked up. Matson from the pipe. Florida Southern still in it, ladies and gentlemen.
You know, that's the one thing they really do want to be able to do when they do break down a little bit in serve receiver, they're out of system in transition, is continue to have that aggressive back row attack. That's been a big factor of their offense for the last few years.
And the block. Bazan again. Must have got a piece of it. Martin coming in. Feeling the momentum swing.
And this is a good time for Drost to just put some good pace on the ball, but get the ball in play and let her team play some defense. I can assure you that whoever's calling the serves for Florida Southern did not call the tape serve.
It's making me sweat. Holy moly. All right, ladies and gentlemen, quick break. We'll be right back.
This is the University of Tampa. Explore your dreams. Discover your talents. Get ready to invent, innovate, and be a leader. This is the University of Tampa.
I tell you, Debbie, we have definitely seen a switch in the direction of the momentum over the last 3 points.
Absolutely. You know what? The hitting percentages, are still they're high. 321 for Florida Southern on the match, 257 for Tampa. It's been kind of a back and forth match, and you're right. I think we just saw the momentum come back Florida Southern's way, and it has a lot to do with the way they've been servicing and serving tough. And you don't really expect much less than this out of a match between Florida Southern and Tampa. For many, many years, these two teams, when they match up, it's always a battle.
Set point here for Tampa. Outside Madsen. And that'll do it for set 3.
That's a little bit disappointing right there because, Florida Southern comes out of a timeout, just much like Tampa did at the end of the second set and missed the serve or was it the first set for set point. That was an unfortunate miss by Whitney Drost. And that is that same tip ball that, I do feel like will continue to score for Tampa right down the line, just over the right side or left side blockers. But I do feel like Florida Southern picked up some momentum, a little bit of rhythm again. So I think this will be a great start to set number 4. Just the same way we saw, even though Tampa lost the second set, they were gaining momentum. I kind of feel the same way about set number 3 there. And I think Florida Southern should feel good moving into this 4th set.
Absolutely. Well, don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. We're in for a great set 4 of action here just in a couple minutes.
Check out this freak. Birth name Hannah. Not a dresses her dog in human baby clothes kind of freak. Nah, Hannah has a cat. Hannah's a freak about fresh baked every 4 hours bread. Look at her, utilizing a bread color perfect gauge thingy. So it's just right. Yep, Hannah's a freak. The kind of freak that makes the world a better place to eat. Freaky fresh, freaky fast, Jimmy John's, freak yeah.
From court and lane to lane, under the lights or under the sun, no one delivers Division II sports like NCAA.com. The center of D2 is inside the NCAA.com hub, with exclusive highlights of every sport and live broadcasts of every Division II championship found nowhere else. Make NCAA.com yours, the home of Division II. From court hub, with exclusive highlights of every sport and live broadcasts of every Division II championship found nowhere else. Make NCAA.com yours, the home of Division II college sports.
Julie Adams just stepped away, and I'm going to just address some of the stats from that third set. Without question, this has become much more competitive as Tampa took the third set. Florida Southern still hitting at a really high clip offensively, 317. Tampa has definitely picked up their action on the offensive side of the ball, hitting 265. Leading the Spartans, Sorrel Houghton 11 kills, Nyla Demps with 8, and Katie McKeel with 8. And on the Florida Southern side, Nicole Matson with 12 kills, continuing her run to close in on position number 3 all-time kills for the Mocs, closing in on Jill Stevens in that number 3 position. Rachel Martin with 9 kills, and Whitney Drost with 8. And we're setting the stage here for the 4th set. Florida Southern up 2-1. And again, that line tip is going to work for this Tampa Spartan team. Sorrel Houghton finding the line tip from the left side of the floor. Sammy Mueller back to serve for the 3rd point of this 4th set. It'll be very interesting to see whether Tampa will stay with the 6-2 offense that they ran in the 3rd set versus the 5-1 they ran for sets 1 and 2. My guess would be, since they were so successful in the 3rd set, they'll probably continue the 6-2. And here's our girl Julie Adams back.
Sorry.
No worries. I am not a play-by-play though, friend.
Well, that's okay, because I'm not a color.
I missed you terribly.
She's back. Hey, and with that, Florida Southern making a statement.
Yeah, they missed you too. And I was just addressing whether Tampa will stay with the 6-2 offense. They were so successful with it in set 3.
Right.
And the 5-1 really just didn't seem to be working for the first 2 sets, so it'll be interesting to see here in 3 rotations what they choose to do.
Draw serving with an ace on that last one.
Yeah,
again.
She's probably trying to make up for a little bit for that serve.
Yes.
Next to last point of the 3rd set. And when she's got a bomb of a serve. You know, it's just all or none, and when she can pull back a little bit and just put good pace on the ball, it's a tough ball to pass.
Again, coming strong on that one. Nyla Demps coming all in on that one and going just wide with that attack.
Well, like we said at the end of the 3rd set, it felt like the momentum was coming back to Florida Southern. I feel like they've come out a little bit more aggressive here serving and just brought their energy up a little bit, and table feels like it's turned again.
Houghton swings on that one, catches the block, and for a point for the Spartans.
You know, we talk about what a game of momentum volleyball is.
Oh my gosh.
It really doesn't matter how high level you're talking about. It's just the momentum swings can be incredible. That set might have been just a little bit low. Nicole's usually good about attacking really high, taking the ball early, and she seemed to take that ball a little bit low.
Bazan, Sanae to Martin. McKeel, Wilson is there. Bazan, Sanae goes for the deep corner. Houghton able to recover, and now NA. Short free ball there outside. McKeel off the hands. And just that, wow.
So fast.
Yes.
Yeah. You know, going back to earlier in the play, Bazan, you know, Tampa made an adjustment with their left back to pick up the dump, and it was really smart of her. She's got to still continue to be a threat, and for her to look for the deep corners, you know, she didn't score on it, but it's the right call there.
Matson pushes. Backside to Demps. Martin finds the deep corner.
Deep part of the floor and corners will continue to score against this Tampa defense, so it's a smart shot.
Annie Collins now back into serve. Hey, there. That is a statement, and I like it.
Nicole Matson's one of those players that, you know, when the team's struggling a little bit, she has no problem saying, get on my back.
I'll carry.
Go. Yeah.
Yep. Annie Collins with a dig. Porter pushes. Dominguez goes backside to McKeel. Just out of reach of McKenna Wilson. Miska serving.
There it is.
And there it is. That'll bring Bazan back to serve.
You know, because she's left-handed, it makes it a little bit easier for her to throw the ball deeper in those corners than it does for a right-handed setter trying to use their left hand and be deceptive.
Matson pushes. Great play by Fresh. Matson with the finish all around. A scrappy play there. Don't see that very often from Bazan.
No, and I think that was an aggressive serve. She was going after the left side of the court, you know,
Yep.
and again, there's a difference between a good aggressiveness. You know, when you bury it in the bottom of the net, that just doesn't even give your team a chance. So that's an okay miss right there, I think.
NA with a big swing. We're starting to see sets 1 and 2 mocks.
Yes, we are, and a lot of it is, it's so simple, but it's getting back to the quality of their passing. They're back in system again. And there are too many threats on this Mocs team. When they're in system and Basansane's running the offense, they're hard to stop.
Big dig for Fresh. And Mueller answers with a dump.
She doesn't dump very much, and they are back in the 5-1, as you can see. She's front row. She doesn't dump very often, but when it's tight, Florida Southern's probably going to have to get up with her because she may have no choice but to take that second ball over on the tight ball.
The tip picked up. Houghton looking for a touch. None called. Point for the Mocs. Fresh serving. There's Fossler again with that quick tempo from the middle. Outside, Drost swings.
Just missed that one. And again, now that Sammy Mueller is on the front row, I would expect the Mocs to continue to try to run things to the left side of the Florida Southern side of the floor against her block, capitalize on that.
Outside, Martin.
That's a great matchup, Martin on Mueller, but Sanae got, I believe, her first double of the match. Her ball handling is typically very clean.
Traditionally, we'll see her come back and not even be affected, which is one of the cooler things about these collegiate athletes. Short tip attempt there from McKeel. Oh, the tape. The tape mojo has returned.
It's come back to the Mocs, hasn't it? That tape mojo's been moving around.
It sure has. NA. There's that quick attack.
Yeah. I wouldn't say it's impossible to stop that zero tempo, but it's pretty tough. And so the way you stop it is having that team out of system.
Yes.
You know, that's just such a, and you don't see very many teams that can really run it. Florida Southern ran a zero tempo a few years ago. It's tough to stop, but it requires really, really high level ball control.
Tie ball game here at 13.
I remember Keisha Brady, I think, running that almost zero tempo.
Yep. What a force in the middle.
Sorry, Keisha, didn't mean to call you Keisha.
Hey, Keisha. A roll shot. Keeps the ball in play here. Houghton swings just out of the reach of Fresh.
I actually think I can remember some other middles in this program that have run a zero tempo. I'm trying to think exactly who, because I remember some of them from when we would play them when I was at Metro State. But again, you know, it's a fun system. It's a hard system to run, though. Your ball control has to be so good.
Free ball here from Tampa. This one picked up by Fresh. They go outside to Drost.
She was looking for high hands. It's the right swing. She just didn't get the touch. And I think Bazan looked for a great to go back to that corner again.
Right.
She just didn't get her hand fully on the ball. And she may want to look for this area one, the deep right back corner too.
Right.
Well, I haven't typically seen her go there with it as much, but it seems like Tampa's favoring that left back corner a little bit.
All right, and as Tampa takes the lead here, Florida Southern with a timeout. We'll be right back.
Observe this total unabashed freak, Mark. Not the kind of freak who wears a suit of armor to a Renaissance fair. Nay, not Mark. Mark is a Jimmy John's kickin' ranch freak. Look at him, pureeing hot cherry peppers into fresh buttermilk with the fervor of a kid at the gates of an amusement park. Yes, Mark's a glorious kickin' ranch freak, and we totally love him for it. Let the dippin's beginnings. Freaky fresh, freaky fast, Jimmy John's.
All right, Mox coming out of a timeout called there for them. And Tampa regaining the lead here, 15-13. Debbie, what are you thinking? What are we looking at?
Well, I'm looking at this rotation, and, you know, obviously in the 5-1 rotations, you only have two attackers. And so Tampa is going to look to commit to one or the other of these two. And they're both quality attackers. If Bazan can see which way they lean their commit and set against it, we're going to get a one-on-one here. But perfect pass helps. Or she can also go to Matson on the back rope.
Yep. Martin swings. Athletic play by Tampa there. Martin again. This time, no dice. Point for the Mocs.
I just love the way Rachel Martin competes. You know, she didn't get the first ball. Give me the ball the second time. I'll put it away for you. And she's been that way. So we used to talk about her last year as a freshman. She just and she's so easygoing out there. And I would love to play with her.
Yeah, it'd be fun. Backside, Martin. Nobody.
Another player who, like Matson, can make big plays for you in critical moments because she seems to be so unfazed. You know, she doesn't ever seem rattled or nervous.
Which even in a situation like this. The joust won by Bazan. Again, ball still in play. Scrappy by the Mocs. The push. Nyla Dimms, big dig by Gabby Fresh. And a set by Matson, not called for the double with the good hands. Bazan now to Matson. Dominguez.
Oh.
Fresh again. Wilson, Bazan, Sanae, Matson. Off the hands, Florida Southern, point for Tampa.
Wow, what a great defensive effort by Florida Southern, in particular Gabby Fresh.
Holy cow.
She dug some really hard-driven balls, and almost every single one of those balls was perfectly in system. You know, they could run system offense off it. I'm not sure what Chris is frustrated with, but that super effort by the Florida Southern defense there. It's a hard one not to win.
In a roll shot. There's that tough attack for Tampa in the middle. Houghton now serving. Bazan shoots out to Matson. And a setter with a kill.
Yeah, good heads up. You know, all she can do on that is turn and just basically it was a kind of a joust move when she gave it a little push on the ball.
Little umph.
Yeah, but good heads up awareness there.
Annie Collins in, serving specialist. Porter went too soon on that one.
Well, again, I mean, it's just hard to find the right timing.
Yes.
For the zero tempo, but they've had 4 sets. They got to find an answer to it or else get Tampa more out of system, but it'd be nice to see them tag a few of these balls on the block.
Backside, Matson. There was a touch. Point for the Mocs. Short serve for Bazan. Here comes Fossler. They go to Demps. That'll be a point for Tampa. They have reached 20 here. Outside, NA. Goes long. Timeout. Florida Southern's trailing 21-17 here in this pivotal fourth. All right, ladies and gentlemen, back. Still in the timeout called by Florida Southern here late in the fourth set. Coach Keene looking to put a stop here for Tampa's push.
Well, in the last set and a half, a lot of Tampa's success has come through their middles. Alexandra Miska has 8 kills, Taylor Fossler 6 kills. Miska's hitting 533, Fossler 286. You know, they've got to find an answer for the middle attack, and it's one of 3 things. They either get the middle's timing right and getting up and tagging the ball, slowing the ball. They don't have to block the ball down. They just need to slow the ball for the defense.
Right.
Keep serving tough but in so that the passes aren't at a high enough level for them to be able to run that zero tempo in the middle. Or, we talked about it earlier, when possible, put the ball on the setter back row. There's no way anybody else is going to be able to run that tempo with the middles. So Florida Southern's got to find an answer to slowing down the middles.
They start off out of the timeout with a kill.
Great response.
Tampa shifting here. Roll shot.
I was gonna come out of my chair.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
The people at home would get a really great sidebar entertainment if they had cameras on us.
Yeah, for sure.
With our body language and making our calls.
Yeah.
All right, so timeout called this time by Tampa.
Well, they're in a situation right now where, again, we talked about it in the first 2 sets when Florida Southern had a relatively significant lead. Play like you're in the lead. You can't squander it at this point. So it's a good proactive call now by Chris Katnack. And, he's been around for years and years and years and always successful at a very high level. So he knows he needs to just take any of that momentum and confidence that Florida Southern is gaining in this moment and slow it down.
Well, I tell you what, Florida Southern, I know, would like to finish things up right here. It'll take a lot of work to get that done. But again, I think like we've said forever, ball control, great first contact.
Well, they're in a great rotation right now. Basansane's back row, so they've got 3 full rotations before she comes up to the front, and they're at a little bit of a disadvantage. That is really where Tampa's done a lot of their scoring, is when Basansane's in her 5-1 rotations on the front row, and they only have 2 attackers. So they really need to score in these next 3 rotations.
Big swing. Katie McKeel, again, one of those situations where I think she says, hey, climb on, I got this. I'll help us out.
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah, over. Point for the Mocs.
As long as the ball is on Florida Southern's side, even if the setter's back row, the Tampa blocker can't interfere with it. Once it comes into the plane, it's fair game. But that ball was clearly on Florida Southern's side.
Dominguez serving. Fresh with a great pass. Over to Rachel Martin.
Yeah, just on point passing right there. Fresh has been very, very good this set, both defensively and serve receive.
Yes. An A here with the serve. And we'll take an ace. The Mocs pull within 1 here. Outside Houghton.
That is just a monster swing. I don't know how much it's reflected on video, but
yes.
I said it earlier. I don't know anybody in Division II hitting a heavier ball than she is.
And set point. Still set point.
Yeah, Chris Katnack's going to call a timeout because he knows that one could spill into another point. We've seen that. You don't expect that so much this late in the season, but we've 3 times now seen, twice for Tampa, once for Florida Southern, critical junctures right at the end of the set, service errors, and for Tampa, they actually had a service error for set. And, that's the stuff that you really want tidied up before you go into the playoffs because, and I think this is a really smart timeout for Chris Katnack because teams feel that, they feel that that's a demoralizing point. You don't want it to be, another point. Now it's 24-all
right
in the deciding set potentially. So, but it's interesting because, you kind of expect to see, you don't want servers to serve safe, but that wasn't an aggressive serve, and most of the service errors we've seen
have been off the aggressive
they
serves.
haven't. Well, those are the okay ones. The ones late haven't been particularly aggressive. They've been kind of, we used to call them bonehead service errors. I don't mean to be demeaning, but it's just, come off the hand wrong or, trying to play it careful. Careful play late in a set, whether you're tipping when you should be swinging or you're serving careful, never is successful.
No.
You have to play to win.
Matson.
Yeah, that's an aggressive serve right there. Dross needs to do it again. She doesn't have to go for that much. Her ball has so much movement on it. She just needs to put a fair amount of pace on it and keep it in play here.
Tough serve. Houghton swings.
Great job by Florida Southern. You know, gritty play getting back to this point. They need one first ball side out here. Don't even give Tampa a chance to be in the rally.
Rachel Martin has been on fire today. Coming in with a clutch swing. Keeping her Mocs alive.
Yeah, I really do feel like she's their number 2 clutch player. You kind of alluded to it earlier. You know, I mean, Matson's without a doubt the one that says, get on my back, let's go. And I think number 2 is, as far as attacking, is Rachel Martin.
Roll shot. Outside Matson, blocked.
Well, you know they're in 5-1 rotations. They're leaning her way, so she's going to have double block. She's got to swing high. Both her and Tier are going to have to expect a double block and look to swing high off the block hands.
Backside. Matson answers.
You don't usually block Nicole Matson twice.
Nope.
You know, she saw the big hands in front of her and she looked to use them rather than go through them like she did on the previous ball.
Bazan, Sanae serving. Double contact.
You know, you don't like to see a double called at this juncture. At the same time, he called it consistently with what he's called all match long.
And that goes out! And they've done it! Ladies and gentlemen, Florida Southern has defeated Tampa at home on their last regular season match, senior night. It doesn't get any better.
No, and you know, that last set was kind of what you expect for the whole match, like back and forth and high level play, offensively, defensively. You know, the first 2 sets were predominantly Florida Southern, and then the third set was all Tampa.
All Tampa.
But I really enjoyed that 4th set the most. It's the kind of competition you expect between these 2 teams. Great win for Florida Southern.
You know, and it just fires me up for Coach Keene and the coaching staff.
Yeah.
I mean, what an ending to an awesome first season for Coach Keene and for the coaching staff, for Coach Keim, Coach Crowder.
Yeah, and you saw Coach Katnack, the Chris's, Katnack and Keene down there having a few words. You know, they have great amount of respect for each other.
Absolutely.
You know, and it was the same way with Chris Katnack and Jill Stevens all the years she was here and all the way back to Lois Webb. I mean, these 2 programs have the highest regard and respect for each other, and that's why, and they're both very competitive year in and year out, and that's why these matches are so enjoyable.
Yes.
Good volleyball.
Yes. Oh, how awesome. And we've got Nicole Matson coming up to the booth to join us for the post-game interview. Ladies and gentlemen, don't go anywhere. Debbie, what a thrill.
Oh, I knew this was going to be a good one, and it was everything we expected. Both of these teams now, as they look to go into the playoffs, I think they both are contenders. This is, in my opinion, a wide-open region. I don't even know right now if it's guaranteed where the regional is going to be. This regional committee, and I was on the regional committee many years, they've got their work cut out for them right now to figure out where it's going to be. But one thing you know for sure is both of these teams are in the regional.
Oh, yes.
They both have the opportunity to make a deep run in the regional, and I'm looking forward to watching volleyball next weekend.
It's going to be great.
The South region.
Well, thanks for being with me today.
Yeah.
And as you exit, you know, one of these days we're going to be back here, no doubt about it. But one thing's for sure, we're going to be watching volleyball next weekend.
That's right.
All right.
All
cool.
right.
Well,
Thanks,
thank
Julie.
you, Debbie.
All right.
And we will see Debbie off, and we'll welcome Nicole. We're on, girl. They always get a little nervous when they step into the Mocs box up here. Listen, first of all, oh my, high five.
Thanks.
So exciting. Oh, man. You know, Debbie and I sat up here, and I made the statement and the joke that it would be quite the extra line of entertainment for the folks watching at home to see us as we're, like, you know, playing with you guys and making our calls. But what a thriller.
Yeah, it was a fun game to play.
Oh,
That was my last one. That was fun.
Listen, I mean, senior night, your last home game here. You defended your court. You beat Tampa. Does it get any better?
No, I don't think so.
I mean, awesome. I mean, tonight, you know, you finished with 20 kills. There were a couple times where, you know, you just came through as the leader that you have really built yourself into being. And there were pivotal moments where you just poured them on your back and you said, come on, let's go. I got this. You know, how does it feel to be able to do that for your team?
It's a great feeling, but I couldn't do it without them. Everything they do and all the support and everything they give me and we give each other is great.
Well, you know, it was definitely a team effort tonight. You know, you guys came out of the blocks, I mean, just swinging. You know, sets 1 and 2 were owned by you guys. And then Tampa, as in Tampa fashion, rallied back. And,
of course.
And, you know, set 3 was all Tampa. But you guys pulled it back together. And, you know, set 4 was just crazy. So,
yeah, it was
I mean,
fun.
with what a strong ending. But, you know, talk a little bit about how were you guys I know it's always a fight with Tampa, but were you expecting the match to go like it did?
Yes and no. I'm really proud of the way everyone came out and how the seniors fought and how everyone fought on the court. So I was expecting that. I mean, Tampa came out and played a great game, and we stuck to our game plan and did it. So I would be pretty proud of us.
Well, it's awesome to watch you guys make the adjustments that you make to be able to combat what they bring, and when they make adjustments to what you guys are doing as well. You guys, if you were ever, there were never more than 3 or 4 points where you guys were down because you guys came back together, you made your adjustments, you talked to each other in the middle, and that was very apparent from everyone watching. You know, the crowd today was awesome.
It was great. It definitely helps.
That had to feel awesome playing in front of a crowd like that. So, you know, I don't know. If you want to give us a little reflection on tonight being your last match. I know it's got to be emotional, but got to be awesome.
It's a great feeling. It went by really fast, not going to lie.
Yeah.
Hasn't kicked in yet that it was the last game, but it's been a great ride, and all my teammates that I've had throughout the past years, it's been fun and created some really good friendships. So yeah.
Well, those will be forever long.
Yep.
And you'll be like some of the alumni that I'm sure are out there listening right now.
I'll probably be back.
And you can. That's right. That's right. But you know, this program just kind of speaks volumes about what a family is and what
Definitely
it means to
family.
play for a program like that. You know, well, congratulations on such an awesome night. I mean, I had chills. I'm up here and I'm just like, you would get, and we, you know, a lot of the times we talk about up here in the broadcast that, you know, you're a pretty calm and stoic player. You play with a lot of fight, but for most of the time, there's not a whole lot of powerful emotion. And then all of a sudden, when you rip one, you make those statement swings, and it's just, all fire, and you come off that net, that's fun.
Yep.
So, and you had a couple of those tonight. I know it had to feel good to play so well against a rival and against such a good team.
Great game.
Well, listen, I won't keep you any longer. Proud of you, excited for you, and I'm looking forward to what next weekend's going to bring for you guys as a team. So, obviously, you know, before we go any further, we got to mock it.
One last one.
One last mock it, girlfriend. All right, so those of you that are listening at home, thanks so much for joining us. Thanks so much for taking this ride with us this season. And as we exit the last broadcast here at Florida Southern, Nicole and I are going to mock it on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Mock it.
Yes. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in.